Hey everybody, it's AJ with dirttraxtv, and I am here today doing a walk around. I'm actually doing a test ride of this vehicle today, and I just got off the seat of it. I put about 20 kilometers on already, and I gotta tell you, I am not just a little bit impressed with this new CFORCE 1000 Touring. I am massively impressed. Like, call all your buddies, send an industry-wide note out. CFMOTO should not be considered an offshore brand anymore. They shouldn't be called, oh yeah, well, they're Chinese. I have to tell you, after putting on 20K on this thing thus far, and I'm gonna ride the rest of the day today doing the test ride, absolute refinement of this product. North American manufacturers should probably take a little bit of notice, and I think should definitely be very aware of this product. The fit and finish is impressive. The included features, as always with CFMOTO, are very impressive, but they're refined way past what they've ever been in the past. I mean, if you've looked at a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever year old CFMOTO, do not compare it to this, because this is next level. When I looked at this at first, I thought it actually was a different brand ATV when it pulled in the driveway until I saw the logo up front. I'll let you figure out which one I'm thinking there. But riding this thing, I'm going down the road and I'm thinking, okay, it's so quiet. This 84 horsepower motor must not really have all that much jam under the hood, because I can barely hear the engine running when I'm going down the road. I'm talking not a little bit quieter than the competition, massively quieter than the competition, in that, like, up to third throttle input. So I'm thinking, yeah, this thing probably doesn't have any. Okay, there we go, grab a throttle, and it's like awake and alive, and it becomes louder once you get into the throttle and you hear that V-twin roar. I mean, this thing's 963 cc's, I believe. It's an 8-valve EFI, and it's got some power under the hood. Yes, it's a little bit less than the 88 horsepower Polaris, and definitely it's less than the 101 horsepower Can-Am, but this thing will hold its own. Dare I say, this is the least vibrations in the industry. In the 1000 category, I actually think it might be the smoothest, most linear power delivery in the industry. I'm not talking in the offshore industry, I'm talking everybody right now. And that is surprising to me, because I did not expect CFMOTO to bring something this high quality and this next level. Sure, it's still a CFMOTO, and there's some things on it, like you get turn signals, you get a horn. That actually doesn't bother me in this day and age, in fact, where we can ride on a lot of roads in a lot of places. I kind of actually wish the North American brands and the Japanese would add these things in too, because it is really handy to have turn signals nowadays, and we're all riding roads places to get to different areas. I mean, go to Hatfield-McCoy, you're gonna run the roads and you're gonna, have to make turns and do things like that. It's actually quite handy. Originally, 5-10 years ago, I would have said, oh yeah, it's got mirrors, that's super Chinese. Nope, the Polaris and the Can-Am Tourings, they're coming with mirrors as well. Like, this is included, this is cool. They work good, they're nice and functional. They don't rattle off the vehicle like they would have 10 years ago. The handguards are nice, they fit really great, they're functional. The included screen on this thing is insane. It works so good. Now, I will say, I don't need the connectivity that they add on here. You can control like your phone's Bluetooth audio, and when you get a phone call, you can receive that on the screen and see things like this. I honestly could care less about that. Unless this screen does GPS, I don't really want connectivity, but while it doesn't do GPS, it does a whole lot of other things really, really well. I think it's 7 inches is what they say. It's a TFT screen, works awesome. When you scroll through the different modes, it brings up normal, sport, and work mode. But it is an electronic throttle control, so it's a drive-by-wire system, which works really, really well. Now, you can scroll through all the different things on the bottom, your hour meter and your averages and your transmission temp. But then you can also go into the actual workings of this thing. And you want to change your drive mode? Sure, we can go over and we can change drive mode if we want to. Gives you the same thing you can do on the screen with a button that's already on the hand controls, but you can do it here as well. Downhill assist control has that also, so you can, let the engine brake itself as it's going downhill. EPS mode, this is not tri mode, this is quad mode. So you can put it in auto, minimum, medium, or maximum. Now, I do have some things to say about that, but I'll get into that in a second. Here's your connections. I don't want to connect to anything Bluetooth. I'm getting away from Bluetooth and all that stuff, but if you like it, it's there. Then there's obviously all your other stuff that's pretty normal. So you can go through and you can change the actual screen if you want. It's got multiple different variations, so I'd almost call it like different skins for the screen. You can change that and come up with all the different stuff. You can scroll through. It's got a ton of different options. It's super bright. You can see it in the daylight. It's not like half hazed out and hard to see. Works really good. The only thing I will say is if they could put GPS in this screen, next level, mind blown, because it's awesome. It works really good. Again, connectivity, I don't want connectivity. Power steering, it's got a quad mode system, which really is kind of 3 modes, but then it has an auto. So I don't really, if it was my choice, and what I'm saying to CFMOTO is I believe they should take their minimum setting and make that even less input, because on minimum, I'm still feeling like the steering is just super, super easy. Even on technical trails, it's really, really high input from the electronic power steering motor over the wheels. So I would like to see that reduced quite a bit so that I can actually feel those wheels, because I kind of prefer at higher speeds on the roads to have a lot more wheel feel in the handlebars, and it becomes a lot less twitchy. If there's too much input at high speeds, it becomes a little bit unnerving and it doesn't feel very confident. So that's my only complaint with power steering. It works great, and it's got, if anything, so much ability and so much available power into the wheels. So it's not a problem of lack of power. It's the same thing as I've had. Can-Am, when they had their tri-mode at first too, was my same complaint, is that minimum was not minimum enough and maximum was just too much. So I feel the same thing with this, but it's not bad. It's very good, and if you're a smaller rider, if you have, maybe you're an aging demographic, you're an older hunter and you want to get out and use something like this for going out to the hunt stand or doing your hunting, you're going to feel really good with how little input you have to put into this, these handlebars to get really, really nice steering out of it. So just a little bit of a performance complaint from my side, but not really a big deal. Now the drive-by-wire system is something I'm going to tell you right now as I get a fly right into my eye. Hey, that rhymed. The drive-by-wire system is absolutely next level. I'm going to say it's the best drive-by-wire system I've ever used on an ATV. There is no lag, there's no hesitation. No matter how much you blip the throttle back in and out, in and out, in and out from it, it doesn't have that stumble where it's like, oh no, you confused me, I don't know what I'm doing. The electronic butterfly must be absolutely, like the servo motor must be next level and on steroids, because it's working really good, doing everything it's supposed to, feels so good. And the throttle pull, if you have an issue, you know, maybe you're somebody who's got a problem with your, you know, riding for 6-8 hours a day and your thumb gets sore. You might be a lady who doesn't like a heavy throttle with a regular cable system. Or again, you might be an older person who's just like, hey, you know what, my thumb gets sore with a throttle cable. I don't really like that. I want something lighter. This is it. It works so good. It's obviously got the same system, you know, 4-wheel drive as well as the diff locks on it, 2-wheel drive. Those things all work great. This is the touring model, so it comes with a 2-up seat. 2-up seat is removable. If you want to take it off, you don't have to take it with you. It gives you a lot more rear rack capacity. Rack capacities are pretty solid. Up front, you're about 100 pounds. Out back, you're about 200 pounds. It's just shy of those, but like 2 or 3 pounds shy. So we're just going to go with 100, 200. There are nice tie-down points. There's some steel tie-down points on it. There's these little lock-in systems that CFMOTO has their own parts and pieces that you can put in here and add stuff onto. So when it comes to serviceability and things like that, I really appreciate that right out back, your battery is high, it's dry, and it's easy to access. So if you do have accessories, especially if you're pulling something with this, say you've got a small little power rake or something that has a small electric over hydraulic motor on it, say you have a sprayer, something that you're doing work with around the hobby farm or whatever it is, your battery's right here. So pop this guy off, you can toss the gator clips on your battery, and voila, you're using your implement. This is a smart place to put a battery. Sure, it does get rid of any kind of a trunk back here. I mean, the Can-Am has always got a nice sized trunk out in the back, but this gives you ultimate access to your battery. And should you do something, leave the lights on, leave the key on, I've already done it right now, you run your battery dead, super easy to get to that battery right here and get the thing boosted back up. Very easy to access. Storage wise, we've got a pop open trunk up front in the front fender well, and it's pretty decent sized. I mean, it's not huge, but it gives you something. So at least you can fit some stuff in there. The owner's manual right now, but it's basic, but it does a good job. Up front, if we pop the front off, we've got all the fuses, we got your coolant overflow, and we've got your rad cap. So everything's easy to service right here, nice and accessible. I like this. They're thinking, like, literally this is the way that things should be. Now, as I put this on wrong, there we go. It has really cool lighting on it. You can see right now, kind of like a Ford Lightning. It's got that illuminated bar across the front. It's got an illuminated bar across the back as well. Everything's LED on this, like everything. Turn signals, the whole 9 yards. So very, very feature packed. Comes with a 3,500 pound winch from the factory already installed. You've got a nice kind of push bar up front, so you got a little bit of security there. It has 27-inch CST Stag tires on 14-inch aluminum rims. Those are real solid, like those. They're aggressive, but they're not too aggressive. Now, if you come down under here, this is where things get a little different. These are CFMOTO branded aluminum, fully rebuildable, take-apart shocks. They're piggybacks. The really, really different part about this is that they have compression adjustability, and wait for it, they also have rebound. I don't think I've ever seen a 2-up touring ATV that comes with piggybacks, compression adjustability, rebound adjustability, and threaded preload. Like, this is a very high quality shock package. The only gripe I will say is CFMOTO uses products like, this has got CV Tech IBC clutches on it. Canadian company, really good quality clutches. That's something that I think really raises the level of just sort of quality of the product. I do have slight concerns about down the road, 5-10 years down the road, if something goes wrong with one of these shocks, are you going to be able to get that shock replaced, or are you going to be able to rebuild the internals if something goes wrong? Sure, you're going to take it to a shock guy and he's going to say, yeah, I can freshen up the oil and recharge these, no problem. I can do that. But if you have hard parts that you need serviced, that could be something down the road. Now, here's what I'll say about that, is that CFMOTO is now working, I believe, for 25 and up with Fox on some other products. So if we could see like a QS3 clicker on here, I think that would really simplify things, because having a whole bunch of clicks of compression and a whole bunch of clicks of rebound, it's nice, but I don't know if the touring driver is the person who really wants to get down and go, hey, how fast is that shock rebounding? What's the compression at? Those are a lot of settings. So a QS3 style shock where it's just 3 positions really says, okay, I'm riding on a nice, easy, smooth trail. Let's put it on setting 1. Oh, it's getting a little bit more bumpy. The trail's a little more aggressive. Let's go to 2. Hey, you know what? It's gnarly. It's rutted out. It's whooped out. This is crazy. Let's go to setting 3. It's easy. It's simple. Visually, it's easy. You don't have to remember about right or lefts because there's numbers on those shocks. This one, you're going to have to do your counts from hard to soft, from fast to slow on rebound. That can become a bit of work, especially if one of your buddies comes out and says, oh, that's cool, it's got a clicker, and changes one. Uh-oh, better remember how many clicks out from soft you were, or how many clicks in from fast you were on rebound. So that's something that I think could possibly be changed. But all of that being said, very high quality shock package. And I know these are supposed to be walk-arounds, but I've put some time on this. It works really darn good, like really, really good. So obviously it's a CFMOTO. It comes with a 2-inch hitch receiver. It comes with their like trailer hitch pin connector thing back there that I've never found a connector that I've ever used with, but you can use that should you have like a sprayer or something and you find that connector and you make it work with your accessory. Obviously those things are always on there. It's the hallmark stuff. Like, you buy a CFMOTO, you're getting aluminum rims, you're getting turn signals, you're getting LED lights, you're getting a 2-inch receiver, you're getting all these extra things. You're getting a winch all the time. They just add these things in from the factory. But I do want to say, don't consider this. Don't go, it's just a CFMOTO. It's just a Chinese ATV. It's just an offshore ATV. It's just don't do that with this one, because I did, and I'm wrong, like very, very wrong. The first 20K on this thing, I'm going, what world am I living in right now? I compare this to, and we all know Kia, we all know Hyundai. When they first came into the market, some of their stuff, you look at it and you go, yeah, they're building a cheap vehicle, but it's a cheap vehicle. And that was pretty much just fact. They started to get some better people in the business. They started to hire away some different designers from like Mercedes-Benz and other big companies. The quality starts to go up. The design starts to go up. The fit and finish starts to go up. All of these things start to elevate. And I truly believe, I knew that CFMOTO could do this. I just didn't know if they would be the first offshore company to really go next level. After seeing their U10 side-by-sides, after seeing the new Z-Force, after seeing all the new products they're coming out with, and being able to put some time on this one, CFMOTO is now like this is the Hyundai Genesis of CFMOTO. This is the Hyundai Palisade This is the next level vehicle that I look at and I go, I would actually put this in my garage. I would own this. Other people at Dirt Trax have said, I'd buy one of these. Like, this is nice. This is next level. I'm not saying anything bad against the previous CFMOTOs. They were there for a price point and they've been doing a really good job. And the crazy thing is that they're still doing such a good job with price point. Like, I'm talking $3,250 cheaper than the comparable Polaris. $4,700 cheaper than the comparable Can-Am. And I know, a little bit less horsepower than the Polaris. 16 or 17 horsepower less than the Can-Am. I know, and I know that they're different brands, but you're also getting that 5-year limited warranty. You're getting 1 year bumper to bumper and you're getting 4 years powertrain. That says something. If you're not like, if you're not out there pounding miles every single day, nonstop, all the time, I don't know why you're not looking at a CFMOTO. Even if you are putting miles on like that, there's no reason not to. They're building such a better quality product, such a high-end, really nice feeling, nice running, nice starting. This thing starts up and you're like, did I even turn it on? Is this an EV? It doesn't make sense. So smooth and linear. I keep on fanboying out about this thing, but it's because I knew at some point we were going to see an offshore manufacturer take things to the next level. Let's also consider that this is a 1,000cc ATV. You can't get that from the Japanese. You can only get that from the North American manufacturers right now. So these guys are first at that table too. They're saying, you know what? Yeah, Can-Am and Polaris, you guys build some weapons. You build some awesome ATVs, but we're going to try our hand at that too. We're also going to give people a massive discount. So go to your local CFMOTO dealer, swing a leg over one of these. If they've got a demo ride or if they have a demo unit that you can take for a spin, I dare you to go do it. I'm not going to eat my words because I've been in this industry long enough to know that this is a flippin' good ATV. Like, I'm not telling you this because people online are going to say, yeah, well, they're a sponsor of their show. They give you money, so you say whatever they want. No, I don't. I'll tell you that some of the previous ones haven't been that good. I'll tell you when Can-Am and Polaris and all the other manufacturers make an ATV and it's just not that good. I'll say, yeah, no, I'd change a bunch of things about it. I'd own this. I'd buy this. Go to your dealership. Try one out. Just try to prove me wrong, because you're going to leave the dealership and you're going to go, huh, he wasn't wrong. I'm not wrong. This is a good ATV. I always forget to start them. I know you want to hear it run. That is so smooth. The mirrors are almost not shaking. It's got a nice noise when it does make noise, but it's quiet down low.